Welcome to the Intro to Flexible Dieting Free Nutrition Seminar. This will give you a base overview of what flexible dieting entails when incorporating it into your nutrition plan. I look at this as a flexible, sustainable approach to nutrition, and I've seen a lot of success with not only weight loss, but weight loss maintenance. When working with clients online, I do provide suggested caloric intakes, assessments, incorporating flexible dieting, strategies of tracking macros, macro and caloric intake and adjustments, food label reading, weekly tracking, weekly evaluation and adjustments, individualized nutrition and resistance training programming, constant contact with clients. I'm very big on checking up on clients and gathering as much information as I can to help me put together the most effective nutrition and resistance training program to fit your lifestyle. Not everybody can hit the gym 5 days a week. If it's only 3, we work around that. Not everybody can track every single thing they eat, so we work around that. Different strategies work with different people, and that's the importance of individualizing people's plans. These are just a few of the people I've worked with through the years and some transformations that they've had and have been able to maintain. Now, as you can see, not everybody's stepping on stage. Some people are just general weight loss, which is big. Weight loss maintenance is one of the abilities I think we definitely lack once we lose weight. I've seen so many people yo-yo diet through the years, and it's usually due to doing something so restrictive that their body can't maintain that. And quite honestly, flexible dieting and having some base nutrition knowledge should be able to fix that. It's, I'm not selling a gimmick. I'm not selling a wrap. This is something I expect you to learn, incorporate, and live the rest of your life doing. But the first 2 weeks of working with an individual, really important. In this first 2-week period, I will gather as much information as I can about you that will help me put together an efficient nutrition plan. So the first 2 weeks of working with me, you'll be tracking your calories and tracking your weight. What I'm trying to do here is get a gauge of how many calories it takes for your body to maintain the current weight you are at. And that's why I have you track calories and I have you track weight. You don't have to worry about any of this. This is just information for me because I don't like using general calculations. I like actually using data from that individual to put together their plan because we're all different. Once that is over, we'll set up a phone conversation, go over some different tracking methods that I like to use with clients, and every one of these are great. It's just a matter of which one fits your lifestyle. I have clients that just track calories and weight, which is perfectly fine because we're still working within deficits when it comes to weight loss or surpluses when it comes to weight gain. I have clients who track weight, calories, and protein. Protein is such an important macronutrient, and a lot of people tend to lack enough protein in their diet. They just don't eat enough protein, so I'll have them track that, and then they can do whatever they feel like doing with the rest of their calories for the day. I have some clients who track macros, weight, water, plus a variety of other things, which gives me the most data. I mean, that one is actually the tracking system that I like the best. But again, every one of these are really good, and I've had success with clients on every scale of tracking. I also want to talk about food label reading. I think this is a general strategy or a humongous key point when it comes to weight loss or weight gain or just basic nutrition knowledge. You have to understand when reading a food label what that label is telling you. For instance, this label says a serving size is 1 cup. 228 grams. I prefer weighing things in grams because I've seen some people take a cup leveled off scoop, and then I've seen some people take a cup against their body and spill it over into their bowl, and when you re-measure it out, it's like 2.5 cups. That's why I prefer grams, but just for this instance, we'll just work with cups. So 1 serving size is a cup. The servings per container is 2. The nutritional information they're giving you below only is for the 1 cup. So if you were going to eat a cup of this item, weighed out, the total fat would be 12, the carbohydrates would be 31, and the protein would be 5. If you were going to eat the whole box, you'd have to multiply every one of those macronutrients by 2. So the fat would be 24, the carbohydrates would be 62, and the protein would be 10. I want you to focus on that a lot when it comes to tracking for now. I do have a trick question though. How many grams of fiber are in 1.5 servings of this item? Think about it. Look it over. It's 0. This item has no dietary fiber in it. Okay, so that tells us a couple of things when we look at this item. One, we know it's a lower nutrient dense food. Okay. 2, you get how to read a food label. You can understand that those numbers tell us a lot about that product. I work with clients online with this a lot. I like to send them some practice nutrition labels to read over. Not that I so much give homework, but it is an intro course. So I like to make sure when we finish up, you know what you're doing. Calories equal macronutrients and macronutrients equal calories. The reason I can have people just track calories and not so much macronutrients in some cases is because their macronutrients will add up to that caloric intake, just like the amount of calories I dish out will be spread amongst the macronutrients. So macronutrients equal calories and calories equal macronutrients. What I mean by this is 1 gram of protein has a caloric weight of 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate has a caloric weight of 4 calories. 1 gram of fat has a caloric weight of 9 calories. So a sample would be this. If I was to take in 180 grams of protein, that would have a caloric weight of 720 calories. If I was to take in 300 grams of carbohydrates, that would hold a caloric weight of 1200. If I was to take in 65 grams of fat, that would hold a caloric weight of 585 calories. Total calories being 2505. Now, this doesn't mean that any macronutrient is any better than the other. I don't believe in cutting out food groups. I don't believe in doing any of that stuff. I believe all of the macronutrients are important. It's just a matter of how we distribute them and what type of caloric deficit you're in. Intro to flexible dieting. This is a concept that there are no good or bad foods, no limitations, and or restrictions when it comes to food choice. Mixing high nutrient dense foods with the occasional low nutrient dense foods. Creating a way of eating that helps sustainability, which is key for little to no binges. I'm not a fan of reward-based dieting. I'm not even a real fan of cheat meals. I think there are other ways you can approach it that will be more effective. I don't believe in people eating clean all week and then going out on the weekends and eating dirty, because really, what does that do? A lot of the times you'll see someone who's in a deficit with weight loss go out on the weekends and just binge, and Monday morning they gain 2 pounds and they can't figure out why, because they ate clean. Well, I hate to break the news, but there's no such thing as eating clean or eating dirty. There's no such thing as clean or dirty foods. It comes into calories in, calories out, and what type of calories you're putting into your body. This brings me to the high nutrient dense foods versus low nutrient dense foods section. I think this is where people get confused when they talk about clean and dirty foods, but let me break it down to you this way. High nutrient dense foods are beneficial in maintaining optimal health due to the high amount of micronutrients. Foods tend to be lower calorically, pack a high amount of vitamins and minerals, can be eaten in high volume. Examples: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, dairy products, nuts, kidney beans, turkey, fish. Now you get into low nutrient dense foods. They carry a high caloric weight, which means you can't eat a lot of it, which means if you eat too much of it, you'll probably be over your caloric intake for the day, and now we're not where we need to be to reach our weight loss goals. A very minimal nutritional value, highly processed, and overconsumption can lead to many health-related diseases that can harmfully impact your overall well-being because you're not getting your micronutrients. You eat too much low nutrient dense foods, you will not get enough vitamins and minerals, which are micronutrients. I didn't say you had to cut low nutrient dense foods out. I just said you should fill your plate with as much high nutrient dense foods as possible and fit in the low nutrient dense foods, occasionally. My expectations when working with clients: incorporate as much high nutrient dense foods into your nutrition plan as possible. The occasional low nutrient dense treat in your nutrition plan is fine, and I look at it as an 80-20 split with clients. 80% of the time, if you're eating high nutrient dense foods, you'll be absolutely fine. 20% of your nutrition plan can come from lower nutrient dense foods, and I did a little breakdown for you. Sample: Turkey Hill Vanilla Bean Light Recipe Ice Cream. Really delicious ice cream. Sample caloric intake for what we're using: 1800. 80% of 1800 is 1620 calories. 20%, our low nutrient dense portion, would be 360 calories. You want a low nutrient dense treat, which really is kind of funny because it's really not a low nutrient dense food. I mean, it has 4 grams of fiber, 4 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 34 grams of carbs. I wouldn't necessarily call that a low nutrient dense snack, but for this purpose, this is what we'll use. Because it's ice cream and everybody thinks ice cream is bad. One serving size is 1 cup. That 1 cup holds 200 calories, 4 grams of fat, 34 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. Eating ice cream and losing weight is pretty crazy, but you can do it. I always ask people in my seminars, can you gain weight eating ice cream? And every hand goes up. Yep, yep. And then I ask, can you lose weight eating ice cream? Maybe like a raise. Like you might see like someone kind of raise their hand because they're afraid. You can do both. It all comes down to portion control and moderation and some basic knowledge of what you're eating. Incorporating this strategy with client leads to a high success rate in weight loss. Again, because we're not doing anything extreme. Weight loss doesn't have to be extreme. It's slow and steady. A high percentage of weight loss maintenance, which is huge. When I work with clients and they reach their goals and they're maintaining they've had that 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 pound weight loss and they're still incorporating ice cream into their meal plan, they're pretty good where they are calorically and they can maintain it because they're not doing such extreme measures to get there. Long-term adherence to the program. Channel your inner Emeril Lagasse and be creative with your meal planning and prepping. If a low nutrient dense treat falls within your 20% window, fits calorically and also matches up macronutrient wise, then eat it. I use this slide as a sample to tell people 80-20, but in actuality, you eat way higher nutrient dense foods than you do low nutrient dense foods, and I actually think the amount of low nutrient dense foods are minimal actually out there because so many foods do have some nutritional value. One thing I'm big on with clients is them being upfront with me. I need accurate data. I don't mind. You're going to mess up. You're going to have a bad day. You're going to forget your lunch. You're going to track something wrong. But that's okay. I don't want people to think of it as a diet. I want them to eat according to their goals. And that's why I made this slide here. If you bite it, write it. If you snack it, track it. If you nibble, scribble. And if you hog it, log it. Grab a pencil before your utensils. I want to know everything you're eating because that just gives me data to make accurate adjustments, and that's what we're trying to do. What is a macronutrient? We've kind of covered this: protein, carbs, and fats. And when you read why we need them, how they're used, and where to find them, is the main reason why I don't cut out any macronutrient when working with clients, because they're all super important and are essential for the body, for the human body. So that's why I don't cut them out. It's just a matter of how much you're getting of each. I'm going to show you some foods that I incorporate into my meal plan as well as my clients. You have chicken breasts, you have Quest bars. I'm just showing you here some ways you can get in protein and the different foods I incorporate. Tuna, salmon, shrimp, chicken. If I made a full list of all the proteins, you would have a slideshow of about 150 slides just on protein. So this is just a quick overview of some of the foods I incorporate. When it comes to carbs, every one of these items on this list, I can tell you right now, my clients incorporate into their meal plan. Yeah, you see Tim Hortons donuts on there. You cannot tell me going to Tim Hortons and having a coffee and ordering 2 Timbits is going to kill your diet. If you're tracking your food and you track those 2 Timbits, I didn't say eat 10, but you have 2 and a cup of coffee and chat with a friend. I don't want people living like hermits when trying to lose weight. I want them to associate going out, having fun, going for coffee, hanging out with weight loss. I don't want them to associate living like a hermit. Oh my God, I can't go to this function with weight loss, because that's a negative thought when it comes to that. And that's why people always say when you think about dieting, you think about the die part of it. Oh my God, I'm dying here. I don't want that. Fiber. Fiber is super important, and in certain tracking methods, you will have a fiber goal. What's cool about it is I know whether you're eating high nutrient dense foods or low nutrient dense foods just by the fiber total at the end of the day. But these are just some items that carry a pack a good amount of fiber in them that people might not realize. Popcorn, dark chocolate, almonds, kidney beans, lentils, pears, avocados. Take a look at this list. Take a picture of it with your camera phone, and next time you go shopping, throw some of these items in your bin, because these will all help with fiber intake. I really enjoy oatmeal. I'm a big fan of it. I just like it a lot. but I like the bang for your buck oatmeal. That's why I go with the high fiber instant oatmeal, the Quaker oatmeal. The dietary fiber in regular oatmeal is 2, and the dietary fiber in high fiber oatmeal is 10. And if you really match up the food labels, they're pretty much the same, not much difference. So my thing is this: if it's delicious and it packs more fiber, I'll take it. These are some other snacks you can incorporate into your meal plan, excuse me, that have a high amount of fiber and are pretty delicious. All the Fiber One stuff is really good. Go Lean, that's going to have a lot of fiber in it too. I mean, you can do a bowl of Go Lean in the morning with some milk, and you're actually hitting protein, carbs, fat, fiber, like you're hitting all your macros across the board, which is pretty cool. Clients, I'll often get texts about, I had cereal for breakfast, I don't even feel like I'm dieting. Well, yeah, you don't have to eat egg whites and, oatmeal every single day. You can have a variety of foods in your meal plan. Fats. I don't have anything on here that is low fat. I don't have anything on here that is fat free, but I do use those items in certain cases. Sometimes I go with the fully loaded, full fat, like the sour cream you see here, and just weigh it out in grams. Sometimes I go with the light, sometimes I go with the fat free. This is just a slide showing you that you can have any type of fat. It's just a matter of how much of that fat you're taking in. And that's what I really want to get across to people is I don't want to demonize foods. I'm not into that. You can have anything. No single food makes you fat, just like no single food makes you lose weight. Eating out. Another thing I don't want clients to do is live like a hermit. You want to go out to eat, as long as you're planning ahead and you want to go enjoy a night on the town, a date night with your husband or wife or whoever, a party, you can. It's just planning ahead. And what's cool about it is MyFitnessPal has every one of these restaurants in there. So, especially in the first couple weeks of working with people, and this is why I love when they have events coming up and we have to plan ahead, we'll set up a little phone conversation or text or whatnot and go through how we can plan ahead so they can go out and enjoy the night and have something to eat and order, go to Red Lobster and order something that fits within their plan and enjoy the day. Like I said, if I can have people go out and socialize with friends and eat at a restaurant and still lose weight, you're more likely to stick to the program. And that's what it's all about, is sustainability. Size matters. The reason I have everybody weigh their foods and things like that, especially in the beginning of the program, is just to get a visualization of what things look like. I know this slide is really dated when you look at the slice of bread and you see the cassette tape, because if you were born before, if you were born after 90, you probably don't have a clue what that is. But this is just giving you a visualization of what serving sizes are if you're out and you get stuck with no scale and you have to kind of eyeball something. Macro remorse. I've had clients text me and, "Oh, you're going to kill me. I went over my carbs by 100 yesterday and fat by 20. What do I do?" No big deal. When things like this happen, I'm not yelling at you. This isn't, I'm not Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser. I'm not going to scream at you when you do something wrong. People are going to mess up. I want you to mess up. That's how you learn. Now, if this does happen, I just want you to text me and let me know, what happened. And then, we go over it together and we put together a strategy to fix it. And it's really simple too. If you're over by 60 grams of carbs, for the next 6 days, I might have you just drop your carbs by 10 grams. If you're over by 20 grams of fat, the next 4 days, drop them by 5. Again, solution to the problem. Nothing big, it happens. The point I'm trying to make here is, when you make a mistake, just let me know. Not a big deal. We'll work through it together. Party macros. I want you to go out and party. I want you to go out and have a good time. I don't want you living like a hermit. I know I keep referencing that, but I've seen so many people through the years that will just stay in their house because they're so afraid to go out because, oh my God, I got to eat at a certain time, right? I got to just eat these foods. And, I don't want you not socializing because you're trying to lose weight. That's not what I want to do here. So, a strategy I like to use is this. Kanye's very excited to attend Beyonce and Jay-Z's wedding this Saturday. He wants to get a little cray-cray and indulge a bit, but doesn't want to set himself back with this progress he's made. Kanye needs to set up a macro bank. A macro bank, really easy. Kanye's current macros are 180 grams of protein, 250 grams of fat, and 250 grams of carbohydrates, and 75 grams of fat. For the next 5 days, Monday through Friday, Kanye will drop his carbs from 250 to 200 and drop his fat from 75 to 50. This will create a macro bank of 250 grams of carbs and 125 grams of fat. He can take his macro bank savings and add it to Saturday wedding day. This will give him a Saturday macro layout of 180 grams of protein, 500 grams of carbs, 200 grams of fat. Track and estimate macros as close as you can while at the wedding. I really didn't increase protein because people don't tend to overeat on protein. It's more the carbohydrates and fat they tend to. But again, if we put a plan in place, you let me know what's going on the week ahead, you might see a little bump in weight the next day after the wedding due to some water retention, but within a few days that's gone, no big deal. We planned ahead, we used a strategy, and we implemented it. Although, leftover macros do not transfer to Sunday. Macro bank deposits can be determined by the individual, and there's no right or wrong way to do this. Simple solution to counting alcohol, because if you're going to get a little cray-cray at a wedding, you might want to have a few drinks. So this is how you would count alcohol. 4 ways of counting alcohol. 1, don't drink it, but you're not going to do that. 2, you can scan it using MyFitnessPal or any calorie macro tracking app. I don't like this strategy on here. People have done it in the past, and it just gives them, it really undershoots the amount they're taking in, because there is a 4th macronutrient, and it's called alcohol. And this is the way I want you to track your alcohol, because MyFitnessPal does not take it into account. So if you're drinking something that has 5 grams of carbs in it, but yet 100 calories, well, we know that for every 1 gram of carbohydrate, there's 4 calories. That doesn't make sense. Where's the rest of these calories coming from? Well, that's what MyFitnessPal doesn't take into account. It's coming from alcohol. So here's how I want you to track your alcohol. You will look up what you're drinking on your Google machine. Look it up, Google it, get a caloric intake for it. Whatever that caloric intake is, you're going to divide it by 4 and deduct that number from your carbohydrates for the day. That's one way. Or you will take that caloric intake of that drink that you're drinking, divide it by 9, and subtract it from your fat for the day. Really easy strategy. If you need more help with that strategy when drinking, don't call me once you're already drunk. Let me know beforehand, and I'll go through it with you again. Again, like I said, MyFitnessPal and some other tracking apps don't take alcohol in consideration. That's why the macros and the calories are so off. Food for thought. Never give up. Everyone has bad days. Pick yourself up and keep going. I like to work very closely with my clients. I like to see them be successful in what they're doing, and I like when they're done working with me and I get emails months later going, wow, this is pretty fantastic. I not only lost weight, but I was able to maintain my weight loss and still eat really delicious foods. They tend to get really creative and like to send me pictures or post pictures online of what they made in the macro layout of them, which I really encourage clients to do. Just make sure you stick to the program, and if you have issues or problems, just call me. That's what I'm here for. Meal planning and prepping. I'm very big on meal planning and prepping, especially in the beginning stages of starting flexible dieting, using MyFitnessPal to go through and kind of log my meals for the next day to see where I'm lacking and not lacking. Down the road, I do encourage people to freelance and have a good time, just like we'll incorporate the strategies we went over as far as planning for weddings or going over your macros. Meal planning tends to really help, planning for those events, and also just put your mind at ease because you already have everything prepared for the next day. These are just some of the foods I incorporate into my breakfast, and my clients do also, and I've seen great weight loss doing this. And you have some really good breakfast ideas here, had some really good lunch ideas, and if you want to see more meal pictures and macros, you can go to my Facebook page or go to my Instagram account. I tend to post everything I eat just to give people ideas of what they can incorporate into their plan, and it also has the macronutrient layout, so you can also increase or decrease serving size to help fit your plan. Some dinner ideas. Loaded baked potato. I love loaded baked potatoes. I'll take a baked potato, weigh out my sour cream, put it down there, a little salt, and have it for lunch with pork tenderloin weighed out. Again, you can get really creative as you like, or you can stay as simple as you like. Snacks. These are all snacks I incorporate into my meal plan. Skinny Cow vanilla ice. Those are vanilla ice creams are super good. A lot of fruit. Quest bars, high fiber. Again, it's just such an awesome feeling when you can go to the grocery store and you walk in and you go, Nothing's off limits. I can be as creative as I want with any of the foods in here, within reason, of course. I will say this over and over and over. I'm not giving you a super fast weight loss plan. I'm giving you something that is sustainable and it works. I just need you to trust the process, have patience, and do your part. If we can do all of those things, I can pretty much guarantee we're going to get you where you need to be. And these are some other quotes I put together. Don't you dare complain about your weight if you're not willing to do something about it. But that's why you've already emailed me for this course, because you're thinking about doing something about it, which is awesome. And this is just when I ask questions. And if you have questions, feel free to email me. Or if you want more information, we can chat over the phone. I'm totally up for doing that too, to explain the program a little bit more if you're thinking about signing up. Just full accountability. No more lying to yourself. No more half reps. No more cheating on your diet. If you're not learning and improving yourself by taking responsibility, then your goals will stay fantasies. And that pretty much sums up everything. Stop being fooled and duped into these ridiculous weight loss programs. Incorporate a program that is sustainable with weight loss maintenance and also with weight loss. And you don't have to depend on body wraps, because those are pretty junky too. But I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for getting a hold of me and asking for it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can get a hold of me through Instagram or Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you guys.